Hey guys, this is Will from Going Awesome Places. Well, camping quilts are so hot right now, I wanted to find out what the buzz is all about. And so I picked up a Kammok Bobcat and Firebelly to test them out. Quilts aren't exactly a new invention, as they've been around for a long time, but they've been increasingly more popular these past couple of years because of their widespread application and versatility. Now, the materials and fabrics have improved so much that they're now part of the outdoor toolkit. All right, this is the Bobcat in Crater Gray, and here's what you need to know about it. First of all, it's rated for 7 degrees Celsius or 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes this a great all-purpose camping quilt. It weighs only 20 ounces or 567 grams. It also uses something called down tech, which is responsibly sourced down insulation that's water repellent. The down also makes the quilt incredibly plush. The quilt is on the outside made out of a material called Atmos 20D nylon ripstop, which is tear resistant and buttery soft. It comes with a nice stuff sack on the outside that you see right now, but also another one inside, so 2 bags, which are both great to travel with. And it's also ultra versatile, which you'll see from the hidden shock cords that are built in and also the sleeping bag straps. So this is the Firebelly in Ember Orange. If you're looking for more insulation compared to the Bobcat, that's where the Firebelly comes in, because it's rated for -1 degree Celsius and 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, it's ultra versatile, being able to be used as a minimalist sleeping bag, top quilt, a hammock, underquilt, or your go-to insulator for travel. On the outside, it uses a similar but different Atmos X fabric 15D nylon ripstop, which is stronger, lighter, and more abrasion resistant. It also comes with 2 bags, the stuff sack that you see on the outside, and also another bag inside. And lastly, the same down tech is used inside the quilt, so it's super soft and comfy. Here are 4 ways that you can use a quilt. Well, you might be wondering, how do you actually stay warm hammocking? Well, the answer is in the underquilt. And so right now in my hands, I'm holding the Firebelly with the Kammok Roof Single and Swiftlet. So the first step to set it up as an underquilt is to take the button snaps and attach them to the gear loops on the hammock. Really easy to do. You have 6 mounting points, and that's the first step. Now that that's done, the next step is to use the cinching shock cords on each end to make sure the hammock is nice and tight with the actual underquilt. So you locate your shock cord and pull. Now that it's nice and attached, the underquilt is going to prevent any sort of underdraft from underneath the hammock, and it'll keep you nice and insulated once you're inside. Another way to use your quilt is as an overquilt. And so right now in my hands, I'm holding the Bobcat, and on cool days like this, the Bobcat paired with the Firebelly is the perfect combination with your hammock. The Bobcat's going to be used as your overquilt, while your Firebelly is going to be used as your underquilt. And so as an overquilt, it's essentially acting as a blanket. There's no specific sort of clip-ons that you'll need or any sort of gear to loop things around. All you'll be doing as a blanket is to tuck it around you to keep you nice and warm. Oh yeah, nice and warm. The Bobcat and Firebelly comes with these extenders, which allows them to be used as underquilts for longer hammocks. For those that prefer traditional tents, there is a solution for you with these quilts. So each of the Bobcat and the Firebelly comes with these elastic cords. And what you'll be doing with the quilt is attaching those loops onto the elastic cord to make sure that when you're sleeping, the quilt doesn't shift or move positions. Here's how you do it. Now you're all connected, and this makes sure that the sleeping pad keeps you nice and insulated on your back, but the quilt keeps you warm up above. As you can see, the elastic loops are holding the quilt in place. Alternatively, you can use your quilt as a simple sleeping bag in your tent. What you need to learn how to do though is build your own toasty toe box. Here's how it's done. So you take your bottom ends of your button snaps. There are two at the bottom that you'll connect together. After that, you have your shock cords, which you'll cinch up nice and tight. All right, closed up. And to create your toe box, then you take this bottom end, fold it downwards, and your feet are nice and closed off, toasty, if you will. For the rest of the sleeping bag, you can decide what you want to do with your quilt. You can close it off or keep it open if you want that extra space, but that's it. It is, after all, a quilt, so use it to snuggle up on cool mornings or evenings or around campfires like this. The quilts are even big enough for two. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would I get a quilt over a sleeping bag? Well, tell me if this is something that's relatable. Zippers on sleeping bags are the worst. On top of being caught all the time, in the middle of the night when you're wanting to use a zipper, whether to pull it down or pull it back up, it's never in the right positions, it never works, you can never find it. Really annoying. With a quilt, you don't have that issue because there are no zippers. Now, without zippers, how do you actually stay warm? You're not in a mummified position. Well, I showed you a couple options where you can set up the quilt to be just as warm as a sleeping bag, and that has to do with creating that toasty toe box, using the button snaps to basically close up the quilts, and you can wrap yourself up just like you would be able to in a sleeping bag. There are some caveats though. There are no hoods with a quilt, which means that you won't have any head protection with a quilt, so you'll probably have to wear a beanie in really cold conditions. But on the other hand, without a hood, that means there's actually less fabric in a quilt. And ultimately that means that quilts are going to be a lot more compact and a lot lighter than your traditional sleeping bag. Quilts are just super spacious. I think one of the things with sleeping bags is that you're just completely restricted. You're in mummified form the entire time you're in it. Versus with a quilt, you have a lot more space to work with, and this is a huge plus for side sleepers. Sleeping bags just simply aren't built for side sleepers. Well, wait a second. Can't you just convert a sleeping bag into a quilt, zip it all the way down, and fold it open? Well, unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way. One, because the zipper doesn't actually fully go all the way down. And two, the sleeping bag isn't designed to work like a quilt. It doesn't have the attachment system so that it can connect with your sleeping pad so that it doesn't shift out of position in the middle of the night, which is what a sleeping bag will do if you just fully have it open. And that'll leave you exposed to updrafts from the bottom. And lastly, a quilt is just that much more versatile. On top of it being able to be like a sleeping bag in a whole bunch of different forms, it's just a really great blanket for you to use when you need to, or you can attach it to your hammock as an underquilt or overquilt. Hey, they make great capes as well. Whether you're looking to go ultralight, need the perfect insulator for your hammock, or want to convert away from your sleeping bag, the Bobcat and Firebelly quilts are the perfect product on the market that you have to consider. Not only are they made of the highest quality, they're super comfortable and silky smooth to snuggle in, and they just work. Make sure you click in the description down below for all of Kammok's current deals, promotions, and coupons. Again, this is Will from Going Awesome Places. Thanks for watching, and keep going awesome places.